Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime professional astrologer, psychic, healer, yogi, and Sanskrit mantra instructor. In today's episode, I'll be discussing the grand transmutation of the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on the Winter Solstice, December 21st, 2020, in the sign Aquarius. What does it mean for all of us, humanity? And what will happen for each sun sign during 2021. My colleague, Sarah Adams, Astrologer Extraordinaire, will be joining me in the discussion, and you'll want to stay tuned till the end of the episode when I give the sun sign forecast for each sign for 2021. Stay tuned. Welcome to the episode on the grand transmutation of the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on the Winter Solstice, December 21st, 2020. I'm going to share information on what this means for all of us, and I will be joined by my colleague, Sarah Adams, giving her input, and then you're going to want to stay tuned till the end of the episode when I give a sun sign forecast for each sign during 2021, and I will also be sharing an affirmation for each sign coming from the writings of Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote wonderful books on the power of affirmation. This will be coming from Your Word is Your Wand. So stay tuned for all this powerful content. So we have a major astrological event occurring on the winter solstice, December 21st, 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn conjoin in the sky at 0 degrees Aquarius. This is the closest that Jupiter and Saturn have astronomically been since 1226 AD. That's right. This rare event will have visible alignment of Jupiter and Saturn for the first time in 800 years, heralding a new age being born. This will lead to some dramatic changes in our lives, breakthroughs from limitations. We will find freedom from restrictions in our lives. People will make big shifts in relationships, jobs, careers, living situations, geographical location. It's all up for renewal and resetting in 2021. People who were born in the years 1940, 1961, 1980 to 1981, and 2000 have this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction astrological signature in their natal charts. The upcoming conjunction will affect this group for sure and could cause major shifts in their lives, but it will impact everyone. As I mentioned in my previous podcast on the astrology of December 2020, the conjunction and then transit of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius will bring in some refreshing new energies, especially in these areas. Technological advances when Saturn transits Aquarius through 2023. This will be in areas such as medicine, holistic health, biotech, artificial intelligences, robotic cars and robotic machines. Air travel will be advanced. We'll be jetting around the world faster and hopefully more efficiently, virus-free, thanks to Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. We will also see space travel advanced, as will space discoveries and advances in quantum physics. Aquarius is a scientific sign, the pioneer and visionary looking to advance the species. And when Saturn transited Aquarius 60 years ago in 1961 to 63, under the Kennedy presidency in the U.S., we had a space race boom, and the administration was the new frontier. So we are situated to explore new frontiers, courtesy of Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. I feel that personally, this conjunction for all of us in the genius sign Aquarius will show us new ways to manifest in our life. That's for another in-depth podcast on how to work with the new energetics of manifestation to achieve goals. We'll be talking about that in 2021. But we will witness more intensity with this conjunction as the old order and worn out structures die out and disappear even more. New growth begins to form like fragile buds on the branches in springtime after surviving a cold winter. We've all weathered the harsh winter of the collective soul with the pandemic, political, and economic fallout of 2020. 2021 augurs fresh starts and blooming of new energies in our lives personally and collectively. New adventures begin to beckon at the Sagittarius new moon's solar eclipse of December 14th, 2020, and are incubating at the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on December 21st, the Winter Solstice 2020, nurtured in early 2021. And then February 2021, with 5 planets in Aquarius, prepares us for the birth of the next phase. This Jupiter-Saturn grand conjunction on December 21st, 2020, initiates and triggers catalyzing transformation and accelerated personal process and outcomes. During 2020, we all felt like we were in a holding pattern due to coronavirus restrictions brought on by the Capricornian confluence of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all together in Capricorn. But we needed this time to reset and clear karma, both personally and collectively. And yes, it took a full 9 months to clear and prepare to birth this next stage, initiated on the Winter Solstice, December 21st, 2020. Stay tuned. My friend Sarah Adams, astrologer, will give her insight on what this means. Welcome back to the episode on the Winter Solstice 2020 grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. I have my astrological expert and colleague, Sarah Adams, on the line to tell us a little bit more about what she sees through her psychic and astrological lens as far as what's going to play out as a result of this grand transmutation conjunction. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Jill. Well, I personally am hoping and envisioning that this is another renaissance, a kind of golden era of humanity, because it's, as we all know, 2020 has been pretty intense.
That's right.
But, this is, anytime we have a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, they call them, it's a great conjunction or the grand conjunction. It's a nearly 20-year cycle closing, and Saturn rules karma and Jupiter is extinction. So right there, I see that as like closing and wrapping up a karmic cycle, and then envisioning, visualizing, moving forward, expanding into the future and then the next 20-year cycle. So that's how I see Saturn and Jupiter working together. This one's really cool because the conjunctions have been in Earth signs the last couple hundred years.
Oh, that's right.
And
good point.
Yeah. So, and actually, I think it's actually been like the last 2,000 years. It's been like almost all in Earth signs. The last one was in Taurus. And then this is starting a 200-year cycle of conjunction in air signs. So Earth can be very dense and heavy. And I just really feel like this conjunction, being in an Earth sign alone and then starting this 200-year cycle of, in air signs, starting this 200-year cycle of air signs, I feel like it's a lifting against energy. And, when people talk about, like, we've been in a 3D world and we're moving into a 5D, right. It's not about, like, we're jumping into a portal and going into the fifth dimension. It's about, here on planet Earth, the energy grid, the density, the darkness, a lot of old, outmoded, collective karma is breaking up. And I almost see it like, it's like a shell of energy that's defragmenting around the planet. And I see like the grid, like the vibration rate. And I really feel like this new 200-year cycle in air signs is helping with that.
Right.
And this is exciting because Aquarius is the sign of the future.
Yes.
We started the Aquarian age in 2012, the year the Mayans predicted the world would end, but it was just the ending of the 2,000-year-old Piscean age. But we've just spent the last 7-8 years ending the Piscean. So this conjunction is like really kickstarting the end of the old order and the beginning of the new paradigm and shift into the Aquarian age. So for me, it's very exciting because 2020 was painful individually and collectively.
Don't you think, Sarah, some people believe this, and I have said this since 2012, that humanity didn't wake up to the extent that we had that critical 1% of higher consciousness back in 2012. So we were given 2020 as the 8 years later as the dispensation for humanity to wake up. Not quite clear.
This is actually the Great Awakening.
Right,
not
right.
2012.
Right. So this, from now and through 2021, I think is going to be the opportunity for humanity to wake up at least that critical 1%. Do you feel that too?
Well, I absolutely agree. And I feel like it started in 2018. Remember in summer 2018, we had the Leo Aquarius axis eclipses?
Right. We had those eclipses that summer. Right.
Yes. And it was like that summer was when I first started sensing, feeling, hearing about, talking about the idea of empath being on the rise. If Saturn were the rocket ship, Jupiter is like the supercharger boosters underneath. And it's like, if it's really been empaths on the rise and things have been speeding up since 2018 to now, after we cleared up all the Capricorn density and like got through the purge of all the gunk and muck that got dredged up in 2020, on the other side of that, I think it's going to move even faster. Like, it won't be like empaths on the rise. It's like humanity is awakening to being an empath. It's like the collective consciousness.
Yes, people are feeling things and understanding we're all connected. So what we do to other people, what we do to other beings, like the animals, we're doing to ourselves. This great web of connection. I love that metaphor too, considering we are in the Aquarian age and coming into it, of the rocket ship, such an Aquarian symbol, the rocket ship launching off into the new dimension. You know, off mic, we were talking about, you had made a connection between the symbolism of how important it was that they're coming together in this grand alignment, but it actually is also happening on the winter solstice, a very high point of the year as far as light infusion coming into the planet. Is there something you want to tell my listeners about that synchronicity?
I would love to anchor the esoteric concept of light infusion and raising the energy grid and moving into 5D to like a really practical way the ancients looked at it. And it's like, it's perfect that it's happening on the winter solstice, because the winter solstice is when we're actually ushering in increasing hours of sunlight. So if you want to just look at it perfectly practically, even if you weren't spiritual, this is a special day because it's the return of the sun and the days are going to start getting long.
Right.
So you see like a really practical face value anchoring of more light to the planet. But like in ancient times, I mean, this was a celebration. This was celebrated as Yule or Yuletide, thousands of years old holiday, welcoming, you know, the Holly King or the winter god if you were in a Celtic part of the world, and the return of the sun. Or in Germanic and Nordic traditions, it was honoring Odin and like the ritual of the great hunt. And it's interesting because the holiday was the origination of the use of greenery and Christmas green and decorating a Christmas tree,
right,
as well as the Yule log and wassailing, like Christmas caroling came from this holiday, Yule.
Right.
And just to make a quick note, and I don't want to digress too much with like the ancient observations, but during this time, the Romans, back in ancient Roman times, they were celebrating Saturnalia, and it was a week-long festival in honor of Saturn, and that started on December 17th.
Saturnalia.
And
Yeah, Saturnalia. Saturn's Fest, because we were going into the sign Capricorn in Western astrology, which is Saturn's time when it gets cold and dark and dreary in the northern hemisphere. Right. Yeah.
And then even like again, I mean, I don't want to go too far in the history lesson, but it is a little fun to gloss over it. In ancient Egypt, the return of Ra, the sun god, was celebrated.
The sun god and the fun god, right?
Yes.
The sun fun god.
Yes. Yes, as a way of thanking him for warming the land and the crops and returning. So again, it's Saturn and Jupiter conjuncting an Aquarius on this day, but they're also squaring the sun as it enters 0 degrees Capricorn.
Yeah.
And the sun going into 0 degrees Capricorn is what marks the first day of winter.
Right.
So we have this grand conjunction squaring the sun going into Capricorn, which is to me, it's significant because it's like the last major aspect to Capricorn as we're leaving 2020.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And also, it's, the winter solstice is like a gateway because it's a shifting of a season and it's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
Which the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is for me, and I'm sure many. It's saying, hey, we're still in darkness. It's still cold. It's challenging. However, the days are going to get longer. And hey, however, also, guess what? We're going into the Aquarian age. So, and it's like, it's all happening together on the same special day.
Right. What a great tie-in then. The synchronicity of we're leaving the darkness, even though it is going to be the first day of Capricorn, thus Saturn gets to say, hey, here I am, the Saturnian time of year. But yet we have this infusion of light at this high light celebration of the solstice, honoring the return of the sun. And then we have Jupiter, the cosmic Santa Claus, joining the party, and it's going to be a love fest in 2021 with this enhancement of light. My guest today has been Sarah Adams, a Scorpio rising. Sarah, thank you for that insight.
You're welcome.
A lot to think about.
I just wanted to mention one last thing to go on the theme of light. They're going to have a dazzling visual effect on the 21st. After sunset, the western horizon, there's going to be a double star, Saturn and Jupiter conjunct. So, this is so significant. We're not just talking about the light and thinking about it. We actually get to have that visual validation.
The visible light of, right. We're going to actually be able to see the visible alignment. And interesting, it's the star of the coming Messiah, but I think the Messiah is the awakening of the divine within each of us. That's the Aquarian age.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So thank you for welcoming me on to this enlightening show, and I'm always happy to be part of the discussion, Jill.
Thank you for joining us today, Sarah Adams. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
As autumn eclipses into winter, don't you just feel like relaxing in front of the fire on a wintry night with a satisfying glass of wine? But you can't stand the pesticides and fillers you get in most wines? Let me tell you about Scout and Cellar Clean Crafted Wine. Scout and Cellar is organic, clean crafted, and always free of synthetic pesticides, chemical additives, and sweeteners. Scout and Cellar wines come in every variety from sparkling to rosé, whites to reds, in gift sets, cans, and bottles ideal for holiday gifts and celebrating the new year, 2021. Try this delicious and pure wine straight from the grape to your glass at www.scoutandcellar.com/Jill Jardine.
Welcome back to the part of the episode when I give the sun sign forecast for each sign as a result of this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction going into the year 2021. I'll share some other astrological information for listeners as well. And at the end of each sign forecast, you will get an affirmation to work with through 2021. The affirmations come courtesy of the writings of Florence Scovel Shin, specifically the book, The Word is Your Wand. The other thing I wanted to remind people is that this alignment of Jupiter and Saturn on December 21st, 2020 is visible. It's a good night to stay up late and light your Yule log or fire pit and watch the celestial show as Jupiter and Saturn shine brightly in the sky. And they will be in the sign Aquarius, but the sun has gone into the sign Capricorn. And Capricorn, here's your forecast. You're born approximately December 21st through January 21st. That is the time of year for the sun sign Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, you can sigh a big sigh of relief and say, so long, farewell, advida, saying goodbye to Saturn as it leaves your sign. The karmic taskmaster has been testing you for over 2 years, and you either passed the initiations or failed. You will figure it out in the next month if you passed or failed by January 21st, 2021. Your life will get really good, or you'll have more challenges. Jupiter also says farewell after buffering you from a tougher Saturnian punch, while amplifying Pluto's push for you to release, transform, and evolve this past year. Pluto's pressures continue in Capricorn for several more years, so you're not fully in the clear until you have completed the Plutonian process of simplifying your life and accessing your soul powers. The good news is that Jupiter and Saturn are conjunction on December 21st, 2020 in Aquarius, in your second house of money, opening doors to money flowing into your life in 2021. Your affirmation for the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction and through 2021 is, listen to this: I now draw from the abundance of the spheres for my immediate and endless supply. All channels are free. All doors are open. Take that and run with it, Capricorn. Aquarius, this is the dawning. You're born between January 21st and February 19th, approximately. Put on your party hat, Aquarius, and start celebrating the new year and new you of 2021, which is ignited with the Yule log at the Winter Solstice 2020, when the historic transmutation of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction occurs in the first degrees of your sign. Let the games begin. Excitement, new horizons, and adventures beckon you in the coming year. There will be 5 planets in Aquarius in February 2021, so there's no stopping the power and process of the Aquarian wave. Luckily, you've been getting this memo all your life. You have been surfing the Aquarian wave for years, and now everyone else has to learn to surf or swim or sink on those waves of higher frequencies. To the extent that you have released and continue to let go of what no longer serves you, courtesy of Pluto and Capricorn, still transiting your 12th house of karma, will illuminate and show you the levels of success, prosperity, and joy that you can achieve going forward. The seeds you have planted in the past years can reap some benefits in the next few years. Financial gain through hard work pays off. And Jupiter and Saturn in your first house of self face off with your Leo 7th house of partnership. Relationships will evolve or adapt to your new sense of being or not, and will fall away. Your affirmation, Aquarius, is: I now release the gold mine within me. I am linked with an endless golden wave of prosperity, and my good comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Pisces, born approximately February 19th through March 21st. This grand conjunction occurs in your 12th house of karma, so hopefully it doesn't trigger any past life persecution experiences when you spoke up for your spiritual beliefs but were killed anyway. No worries, the Piscean age is over and you won't be persecuted in this lifetime unless your spouse is a critical Virgo or narcissistic Leo. It may seem as if you were really just trying to get by in 2020 and perhaps in survival mode. You weathered some losses in your circle of friends and family due to harsh Capricornian planets. Self-preservation has been important to you, Pisces. As one of the zodiac's top empaths, you have been feeling the grief and suffering of humanity during the pandemic, and you can't see beyond to the next phase. But you can feel something good brewing for you. You have been resolving old issues and trying to stay above the fray. This big Aquarian conjunction will urge you to go beyond your past and wholeheartedly step into your future with an awakened heart. It is a good year for setting healthy boundaries with others and living your life in a more creative way. Pisces' affirmation is, I am harmonious, happy, and radiant, detached from the tyranny of fear and free from my past. Aries, born approximately March 21st through April 21st. You are just so relieved that Jupiter and Saturn finally stopped squaring your sun, that you are going to celebrate the Winter Solstice conjunction with a private dance party that will usher in 2021. Wild and weird synchronicities will flow into your life, now giving auspicious outcomes. Yeah, Pluto in Capricorn continues to square your natal sun, but you know the routine. Keep doing your deep inner work this year. Karmic relationships may seek you out in weird and wonderful ways this year. Aries, your affirmation is, I have a wonderful joy in a wonderful way, and my wonderful joy has come to stay. Taurus, born approximately April 21st through May 21st. Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius is sending lightning bolts of energy through you. We could call it a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. Uranus is shaking you free of self-induced shackles or long-standing limitations and bringing big love and unprecedented changes into your life. Ask your Aquarian friends how it feels to be living the Uranian life. You are being blasted by Uranian lightning, liberating you and instantaneously clearing lifetimes of karma. Your life is undergoing unprecedented changes. Pluto in Capricorn continues to trine your sun in 2021. That's a good thing, which will help you build foundations for your future. Any improvements or beautification you want to make in yourself or surroundings this year will be supported. This is a very fertile year for Taurus, whether it is to bring forth children or creative projects. Very good time to bring it through. As you reap, so you sow, in more ways than one. Karmic cycles are ending and new ways of operating in the world are being presented to you. You are able to access hidden or latent talents and express them in your life this year. If you tune into your deeper self, you might be able to make certain adjustments in your life and health that improve your overall lifestyle. Open your eyes to new opportunities and possibilities in early 2021 and get out of your comfort zone to take action. Taurus, your affirmation is, I am harmonious and happy and divinely magnetic to my good, prosperity, love, and my new creative life. Gemini, born approximately May 21st to June 21st. Let the sun shine in. Geminis get a new lease on life. They are lit up like a Christmas tree at the Winter Solstice when Saturn and Jupiter connect in their fellow air sign Aquarius. The voltage is turned way up to 11, not 10, but 11, throwing favorable aspects to Gemini. Gemini has so many choices now. Clarity is key, and take some time in early January to tune into your desired life trajectory and outcomes. Things are going to get wild when 5 planets in Aquarius light up the Gemini life stream in February. Yes, you weathered some eclipses in your sign in June 2020, November 30th, 2020, and then opposing your sun on December 14, 2020. But hopefully you got the eclipse memo and released the deadwood and delusion in your life. The eclipses may have stopped you in your tracks and forced life review and reevaluation, asking that you slow down and smell the coffee. Certainly, you will need to get grounded and stay focused. Relationships may demand more of you this year, and you may even experience difficulties in your connections with others. Your inner guidance and intuition is strong. If you remember to listen to it, tap into your body's wisdom and you will receive answers. Your mind moves to the next phase of your life without missing a beat. Gemini's affirmation is, all doors open with happy surprises, and the divine plan for my life is speeded up under grace. Sun sign Cancer, born approximately June 21st to July 21st. Let's be honest, Cancer, you've been through a shit show these past 2.5 years, thanks to Saturn, Pluto, and in 2020, Jupiter ganging up on you, giving you a Capricornian kick in the butt. But congratulations for weathering the cosmic storms. And now you get to graduate when Jupiter and Saturn finally leave Capricorn and go into Aquarius. Being a water-loving Cancerian, you have been surfing those tumultuous cosmic waves and riding erratic tides for several years. It's payout time now as Aquarius rules your 8th house of other people's money. You may reap financial gains in unexpected ways thanks to Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. But because 8th house is also the house of death, it may come through inheritance and life insurance policies. You are finally able to explore your own psyche and find the gems hidden there. Perhaps others are treating you better now that Saturn has left your 7th house of relationship. You are feeling less traumatized by the actions of others, and it's safe to go back in the water because the sharks have swam off to bother Leos. You can use your sensitivity to your advantage and receive boons and blessings. Cancer, your affirmation is, my ships come in over calm seas, under grace and perfect ways. Leo, born approximately July 21st through August 21st. Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius are now opposing your sun. Gulp. Your theme song in 2021 will be, you can't always get what you want, but you'll find sometimes you'll get what you need. You could be discovering and living the Jean Paul Sartre quote, hell is other people, is actually true for you. Yep, others may be acting too erratic, and it may feel like all your obstacles are due to your relationships with other people. Get over it and start making changes in your life so you can be less codependent on others. You may have to become more self-reliant around finances. Leo rules the sun and the heart, so get back in touch with your heart's true desires so that the Aquarian electromagnetic frequencies can bring you into alignment with your good. Pluto in Capricorn is still transiting your 6th house of health, requiring additional focus on nutritional and other health regimes that support your vitality and well-being. You need to be vigilant in maintaining your physical well-being as Pluto transits your house of health. This will require more attention to your body and addressing any health issues which arise while looking for the emotional root of any illness. Leo, your affirmation is, let me never wander from my heart's desires. Virgo, born approximately August 21st through September 21st. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction occur in your house of health. So this is an upcoming year to be vigilant with health issues and stay on top of any symptoms as they arise. This is a good time to focus on health and well-being and taking care of the physical body. You can't get away with pushing your body too hard this year. Be careful not to burn out and watch your health and energy reserves. Neptune and Pisces opposing your sun can make you feel wiped out or drained. Relationships that feel draining and unrewarding may dissipate your energy as well. So you'll have to make some big decisions about releasing certain people from your life. Aquarius energy can be erratic and unpredictable, and Virgo doesn't like it when things are not under control. You have to learn to be more flexible now and change plans without much advance notice. You will achieve goals this year, but there may be some detours along the way. Virgo, your affirmation is, I am poised and powerful. My greatest expectations are realized in miraculous ways. Libra, born approximately September 21st through October 21st. Libra is a cardinal sign, which has been reeling from the Capricornian cardinal square aspects these past few years, and 2020 threw you a whammy. Now that Jupiter and Saturn move to a friend sign, Aquarius, it's time for the Libra light to shine bright. Jupiter and Saturn harmonize with your sun from the house of wisdom and higher perspective and travel. Your higher mind is lit up, helping you clear up your life for a happier reality. Travel and new adventures beckon on the horizon. You are thirsty for knowledge and to pursue new quests in your life. Jupiter and Saturn solidify your contact to your higher self, and you can see clearly now that the fog has lifted. New relationships will be ignited and old relationships are healed with better communication and deeper connections. Love flows back into your life. Pluto transiting your house of the unconscious may have destroyed certain aspects of your life from 2009 through 2020. Neptune is transiting your house of health, so watch out for ups and downs in your physical body's energy. Some days you'll be very energized and go full steam ahead, and other days you may feel exhausted. Make sure you implement health regimes to support and maintain energy levels. Libra affirmation is, divine love through me now dissolves all seeming obstacles and makes clear, easy, and successful my way. Scorpio, born approximately October 21st through November 21st. Jupiter and Saturn square your sun, so prepare for another level of life lessons. Scorpio can't escape the Uranian energies of change and transformation with Jupiter and Saturn squaring their sun and Uranus opposing. Release what no longer serves. Be flexible, prudent, and you will be transformed. Jupiter in your house of home brings some luck with property, and if you want to move or buy a home, summer of 2021 is a good time. If Scorpios do their inner work and spiritual practices while Jupiter and Saturn transit Aquarius, they will be rewarded and their life will improve dramatically. Jupiter and Saturn can bring breakthroughs and surprises for Scorpio, opening up new ways of creating resources and giving you insights to your future. Pluto, the ruler of your sign, helps you in 2021, teaching you how to create new structures in your life which will support you in the future. Neptune in Pisces brings your addictive or self-destructive tendencies to the surface. You continue to purge your shadow self, while Neptune in harmonious aspect to your sun fares well for love, romance, pursuit of pleasure, and spiritual practices. Scorpio's affirmation is, I let go of everything not divinely designed for me, and the perfect plan of my life now comes to pass. And finally, Sagittarius, born November 21st through December 21st. Leading up to the grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, Sagittarius weathered a series of eclipses in their sign during 2020. June 5th, lunar eclipse, November 30th, lunar eclipse, and the December 14th solar eclipse. Sag, tag, you're it. That means it's your turn to weather eclipse fallout for the next 6 months, which could bring loss, health concerns, karmic fallout, and circumstances out of your control. Good news is that Jupiter and Saturn's conjunction and transit is from a friend sign in Aquarius, which will open up doors to fulfilling adventures, quests, and connections. Turn your attention to teachings and travel, and Jupiter will reward you. After June 2021, time to have some Sagittarian adventures by visiting horizons both far and near, traveling to new dimensions in body and mind. Be open to receive new inspiring influences that will boost your creative juices. Pluto in your money house keeps breaking down and rebuilding your financial life. Be patient with this process as it ultimately leads to better financial health in the long run. Sag, your affirmation is, my good now flows to me in a steady, unbroken stream of happiness and abundance. I hope you enjoyed this pivotal podcast episode on the astrology of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction into 2021. Please remember to subscribe, download, share, and give Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine a 5-star review. This is Jill Jardine of Cosmic Scene signing off and sending you healing vibrations through the quantum field. Da.